I saw all the children by the window, and there was this man standing outside with long hair. This is when I met my Guru Maharaj, and he asked me a question. What was happening to me at that moment was completely not related to what I know in my mind. I was in a different world. It was like outer body experience or whatever you want to call it, but it was like the consciousness looking into the wonder of creation. In one moment, there was this cosmic being, but I could not see his face. I could feel him because he was pulsating everywhere in the universe. I came out of this meditation 3 days later. When that happened, I entered into a deep samadhi state, which I didn't even know that exists. For me, it all happened in a fraction of a second. Meeting other sages and saints, other worlds and other dimensions. When I came back, I was a different person. You can say, yes, you have a deja vu. Nowadays, they use the word Akasha Chronicle. But a part of your experiences, they always here as a reminder. It's easy to make a facade to build a certain reality, but to be yourself, it's a tremendous challenge. The moment you can offer that mind to the altar of the divine, it gets transformed. I was born in Mauritius, and you have all kind of trees in Mauritius, poisonous and non-poisonous. I'm sure it's similar to your place there. And as a child, we were very much playing outside, not like nowadays. Everybody's indoor on the computer and, So for us, it was different. All the children was always playing outside. So all the neighbors and we all come together, the cousin, we all come together. So like that, there was a freedom. So in one of that encounter like this, we will be meeting and playing, and there were the seeds. Was always, for sure, it was always there, but it looked like peanuts. So then let me try. So I ate some. It did taste like peanuts, and of course, after some time you eat it for quite, then you faint, So that's what happened to me. So I faint and start foaming. So they rushed quickly and told my dad, and my dad, in panic, brought me to the hospital. And in the hospital, the doctor did everything that they have to do, to clean and to wash the stomach. So that is done. Then I was in the hospital for some time to recover. This is when I met my Guru Maharaj, which is, he came to me. And he was I woke up, as I remember, I was in the bed and I saw all the children by the window. So I also went there, and there was this man standing outside with long hair and very impressive, actually. He was giving sweets to all the children. And I also said, okay, I also put my hand there to receive a sweet. And he put a sweet in my hand, and with 1 Mauritian rupee. And that 1 Mauritian rupee was quite a lot of money at that time. Because you will buy sweets and little biscuit for 1 cent, So 100 cents was a lot. I remember
so
I used to
100 biscuits. This is serious business.
I was thinking, wow, that's nice. That's was very. You say, okay, when I go out, I go directly to the shop. So then he held my hand. My hand was like this. He put it, and he was holding the hand, and he asked me a question. He asked me, do you know who you are? 5 years old I was at the time, so it didn't make much sense to me. So I ignored the question and carry on looking at the sweets and the 1 rupee and thinking, when I go to the shop, I will buy a lot of sweets and little biscuits. So then he said to me, without turning behind, pointing behind him like this with his finger, do you see the light? And I was looking around which light he was talking, and I could not see any light. And the funny thing is that, you see, in spite of having so many children around, it's like that conversation was 1-to-1. I could not hear the others. I could not, they were like non-existence. It was only me and him during that conversation. And so I look, there's a small little hill. I was looking around at the trees and everything. No, I didn't see any light. I said, no, I don't see any light. Then he bent down, looked in my eyes, and he said, look properly. I don't know whether he opened his mouth or it was what I heard inside, but that's what I heard. Look properly. So say again, second time I look, and to my amazement, there was a ball of light, like the sun, very bright. And the funny thing is that around it, there was another disk of light, like a small halo of light around it. I don't know how long that vision was, but I heard during I was looking, that's you. I was just mesmerized by that. How long it lasted, I have no clue. But when I came back to myself, the only thing he said, I have to go, your auntie and your mom is coming. And he put his hand like this, and he just disappeared.
Was he actually there in the physical, or was he? Did he?
He was physical because he gave the sweet and the
yeah, of course, and the rupee. Yeah, fascinating.
So he was physical, you know.
And then you had the vision as well.
Yeah, but I didn't know who he was. No.
Because that's the thing. Because you mentioned him as your Guruji in the story, but yeah, at the time it was. I don't want to say just a man, but it was just a man.
So when my mom and my auntie came, I was very excited to show the sweets and the rupee. And of course, like every, the Hindu family, how we are all, everybody's an uncle and auntie, So
no matter how unrelated they are to you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how unrelated they are. Still, this is a beauty of our culture. You see, that respect that we give, We may not respect somebody that we don't know, but the moment you say it's an uncle, there is a respect that is formed at that moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. For me, it was just an uncle. Okay, finish with the story. Then the same uncle came many times. But until later, Mahavtar Babaji, when I knew he was Mahavtar Babaji, and then he gave me the knowledge of, yes, all this was only him.
Can I zoom back a little bit? When he said, you are the light, what is he referring to there? What's the truth that's being emerged in that moment?
We are all parcel of God, no? We are all parcel of that light. We carry that light inside of us. Our Atma is the divine spark of Shri Hari,
Is Atma, is it convenient enough to translate it to soul? Or is it more than that? Or is it less than that?
You see, the word soul, there's something dead into it. When we say Atma, there's something more to that. Yeah. But anyway, in the English language, we have to use the word soul as translated,
Yeah, fascinating. And then at what point did it start to distill for you? Was it because you said that there might have been a couple of more chance encounters, and at what point did it start to be like, oh, this is the same person that you're seeing?
Yeah, every time, there was every moment, like not every moment like our daily routine way, but like for example, when I went to the dentist, when a few months later, and the same uncle was standing outside. And the same uncle was other places also. Yeah. So, but when I was telling, let's say, for example, when I went to the dentist and I bit the dentist's hand, I didn't want him to remove my tooth. And my mom was really...
his finger?
Yeah, I did. So then my mom very angry. You know how it is, Please go out, So I went outside.
Yeah.
And I was crying, and then he said, "You've been naughty." I said, "Yes." And my mom came and just dragged me out, and she was really not happy. And yeah, I said, "Mom, look, this uncle is there." And when she looked, there was no uncle. And like that, countless of time it happened.
And so
And
in those moments, he's there in the physical, but he's only appearing to you, or in that moment,
yes, he
she couldn't
was.
see him?
Well, I don't know whether other people can see him or not, but for sure, when he was giving the sweets, everybody would see him because other children had the sweets also, and they were all by the window.
That's amazing. And did it start to dawn on you at some point that this was somewhat special, that
Not
Babaji was coming
really.
to
It
visit?
was just like you said, like we were just talking about. It's just an uncle for us, for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
An uncle which only me I knew,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And then also, because you had, there's another experience where you, not an uncle this time it was an auntie. But this time the auntie asked you to meditate, and you sat down to meditate.
That wasn't when I was 14,
Was this the
actually,
first
because I
time you
didn't.
meditated?
Yes, first time. I didn't know what was happening to me. Because of course you hear meditation. For us, meditation, you just sit there and close your eyes and Om or chant Gayatri Mantra, Om Bhurbhuva Swaha. That's how we do. That was a meditation. And of course, we did that. So when the auntie said to me to sit and meditate, what I know about, I just did that. But just to the difference between when I used to do just Om and Om, the Gayatri Mantra, that one was very intense and completely different from every aspect of meditation. Because at that moment when I dive into, I went to a space where it was unknown to me. What was happening to me at that moment was completely uh, not related to what I know in my mind.
What was the experience of going into that space for you?
So how it happened is that I enter into that meditative state. But the next moment, I don't know the time lapse, but the next moment, I was in a different world. I was in the universe. It was like, we can say, outer body experience or whatever you want to call it. But it was the universe, was the vastness of the universe. I was there looking at. It was like the consciousness looking into the wonder of creation. And you see, it's not just to see, it also that feeling, but there was no mind at that moment. And then what could I observe in one moment? Okay, there was this cosmic being there, but I could not see his face.
But you could feel him.
Yes, we could feel him. We could feel him because he was pulsating everywhere in the universe. Probably that's what Arjun experienced when Bhagavan Krishna gave him the cosmic form. He saw the cosmic form of Lord Krishna. And that was that. It was that the vibration was pulsating everywhere, but with the same vibration, with the same knowing, with the same love and bliss at the same time.
Because without jumping too far ahead into the conversation, this is one of your fundamental, I find one of your fundamental teachings, for me anyway, is oftentimes we find, especially in the scholarly sort of Western mind, that knowledge must precede experience for us to really grok something. But
You see, in Bhakti
yeah,
Marga, if I look at all the devotees who have come on the path I don't know about other paths. I'm talking about our path here. It is through experience. Every path tell you first have knowledge, then you can experience. But all the people is similar to what I have experienced myself is experience first, then later on we have the knowledge of it. Because that experience can't live you. You want to know, you want to understand what have happened to you. So you become a researcher. You start to dive deeper into try to knowing what it is. It's an experience that brings you on the path, and that experience is so strong that it's fundamental actually to have experience. And many people who have come on the path of bhakti in our, Bhakti Marga way, they have experience first, because you see, with knowledge we have to see one thing. With knowledge we have an idea, and then we try to recreate that idea. We have the story of Bhagavan Krishna with the gopi. Very often people fantasize this idea into their own life, but it's still a fantasy. It's not reality. It's not something that you can create. Your mind is limited. And to experience that, you can't. When we look at the life of all the saints, how they didn't have knowledge in their life, firstly. They have experience in their life. Life is about experiencing. Knowledge come, but first you have that experience of life. Then the knowledge comes, then you try to understand. But even that, when you have the knowledge to really grasp the deepness of that experience, it's impossible. And this is the difference between other paths, where they say first have the knowledge, then you can have the experience. Because then if you have that knowledge first, and then the experience is not that deep. Because your mind will still be there. Oh, now I'm experiencing this. Now I'm feeling this. The I, me, and mine is still very much present.
Measuring. Yeah.
Yes. And then comparison happen. Then you are in competition. Oh, look at me. I have experienced this and that and so on. There's not that essence of humility. When we talk about bhakti is humility itself. That is what Bhagavan Krishna said, in chapter 5, verse 18 of Bhagavad Gita. Those who experience me, who knows me, who sees me, who is deep, who is humble in their heart, with deep knowledge. There's a specific word he used, which very often people translate it in knowledge only, but actually which means humbleness. In regular translation, they said it is just knowledge. With deep knowledge, they see me everywhere. In a dog, an elephant, or a dog eater, and so on. So just to make you understand that he emphasized upon that word of being humble.
That's actually really interesting, because I don't want to digress into theology there and analysis of it, but it is really profound how much even just one word in a translation, knowledge keeps the teaching very much mind-based, whereas humility, really brings you down.
Knowledge is with the mind, and humility is with the heart. If that knowledge don't descend into your heart, then it is useless.
Because one of my questions for you was also going to be today the importance of a guru. Because even what we're doing here right now, I can take scripture and try to understand it. But what you've just done here is infinitely valuable. Touch wood, even if I can say so myself. The importance of a guru, and you meeting Mahavtar Babaji these multiple times. Would you be who you are if you hadn't met your guru?
Well, it is very important, in our culture, in every culture actually, we may not use the word guru, we may use the word master, we may use the word teacher, but if you want to progress in any field of life, you always learn from somebody. You always get inspired by somebody, and the guru is the one which personified that inspiration, which inspired people. Yes, we have to transcend the mind. We have to become humble. We have to dive into the ocean of that love. Of course, nowadays you have a lot of gurus, Well, there were always a lot of gurus in the world, but nowadays it's more common through the social media and internet and everything. But that is not the most important thing. Wherever you will, wherever the guru is for you, you will be guided to. Or the guru will come to you. In one way or the other, he will come to you. Because that is the relationship that your Atma have with him. So the
Sometimes
moment
with
you are
lollies and a
ripe
rupee.
enough,
Mm.
the Atma will call upon.
You mentioned that it's fundamental to have experience just before. You said that in passing in some ways, but I just wanted to go back and double click on that because I feel like that's actually alluding a lot to the fundamental nature of consciousness in and of itself. Can we unpack that a little bit? Can we dive in deeper?
Look, we talk about this experience not in the past. Experience is constantly happening in your life. Each moment of your life, there is a wonder happening. But the problem is that, you see, we are so much taken by the world, but we stop wondering. We stop seeing what is happening. It becomes so usual and so normal that we don't see that wonder, what is around. And this is, people, they want a big experience. Oh, look, I have experienced this and that. But there's experience all around. Just open your eyes and see. You look from a seeds, a sprout is coming out. Life is emerging from that. It is a wonder. When you look at the trees, how it's changing, the colors, it is a wonder. Look at a flower, take a rose, for example, you smell the smell which is coming out from it. It is a wonder. It should not just be one experience. You just need, when your mind is calm, then you see, you become amazed of the beauty of this, which God have given you.
How do people return to wonder? I mean, so many people we have so many presses in the mire of the day-to-day demands of living. And yeah, I mean, even just hermetic adaptation, like every year as you start to age, the years start to go by faster. I remember now, like it's already November
You
or
see that?
December. And I'm like, what? I remember when I used to go to school in a term, like it was a quarter of the year. It was only 12 weeks. Felt like an eternity, like and then I was like, what happened? And it was like, you're getting used to stuff, Amrit, and you just sort of, oh yeah, same old, same old. And it's like, how do we crack back open into the wonder?
Well, you see, you used the right word when you were a child. We have heard that, if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, be like a child. In the Bible they say that, and we see that because a child don't have the same seriousness as a grown-up. You see, we have make life too serious, too dogmatic. And in that dogmatism, we forget the essence of true joy, Whereas a child he's fascinated by everything. Now we think we know everything. We stop fascinating, And when there's a certain things to be fascinated, we say, no, it is fantasy. Yeah. But that's what we have to be, to become again into that essence of innocence.
Can I ask
Once
about
we are
that?
becoming back to that essence of innocence, everything become an ow. Because when you look around, you'll be amazed of the beauty. That is what happened in deep meditation. When you are absorbed in the deep meditation, you start to become amazed about everything, even in the simple thing which is around you, which you didn't even consider about, who meaninglessly it was always there. But then you start to see the meaning into it. Even a flower, just hold a flower, you start to perceive the beauty of that flower. Of course, you have passed 100 times in front of that flower. You have seen it. You have taken it for granted. You have passed it. Oh, yeah, it's just a normal flower, whatever. But the moment you start to really see something, you were looking, but now you see. Even with people around you, how is your relation, how you relate to them, everything gets transformed.
Inspired souls, living beings, thank you so much to all of you that are subscribed to this podcast. Everything you see around here is powered and empowered by your subscription to the channel. Touchwood. Thank you so much for your incredible love and your support. To all of you that haven't yet subscribed, please do take a moment. As I'm saying the word subscribe, the button below is lighting up in the colors of the Inspired Evolution. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon, join the community, join the movement, spreading love, positivity, and wisdom like this together around the planet. Thank you so much in advance. And while we're on the topic of community, guests like Paramahansa Vishwananda are once a month coming into the Inspired Evolution Community Circle to answer your questions directly. I step out of the way and you become the podcaster. Live community Zoom calls where you get to interact with these guests yourself and ask any of your heart's deepest questions directly to these guests. So join us on the inside in the Inspired Evolution Community Circle. That's inspiredevolution.com/circle. There's a bunch of other stuff we get up to as well. Weekly meditations, community sharings, breath work, yoga, lots of cool stuff, activations, astrological updates. But join us, inspiredevolution.com/circle. We'd love to welcome you home on the inside. One of the things I noticed that seems to be a important prerequisite, maybe just for me, I don't want to project all over everybody, is to actually slow down. Because sometimes I'll sit on a garden bench, quickly eat a sandwich, be on my way, I miss everything. But if I sit on the garden bench, take a few moments, this happened to me one time, I was like, slow down. And then I realized I was sitting on top of an anthill. And then I was like, you should probably move, But in my
bite you.
But luckily this time it didn't because I slowed down. But normally I would have had to learn the lesson the hard way. Maybe there was a guru available at the time that was looking over me.
The guru is everywhere, The guru is not just one person. Look, for Lord Dattatreya, he had 24 gurus in his life. And there were not one person. It was nature itself, What you can learn from nature that make a deep impact upon you. The guru is there to make that deep impact of reminding you, come back.
Got a question. For many of us, the wonder and the joy you're referring to is something that we're familiar with, but then life throws us curveballs, we lose loved ones, there are things that impact us on our journey, and what we perceive as suffering happens to us and we suffer, we experience deep pain. And then it seems like the heart starts to not harden, but a case starts to appear, like there's armor that appears on the heart in some ways. Your invitation for how we work with such things?
Yes, look, when I'm talking about wonder, even those who are self-realized, it's not that there is no pain in their life. Actually, there is much more pain in their life. When you look at the life of the great saints, their life was full of pain. Take Sri Ram Krishna Brahmams, for example. His life was full of pain. Everybody, Sri Ramanujacharya itself, the founder of the sampradaya which we belong to, we came from, and his life was full of pain. He has suffered a lot, but how we perceive that, we see, okay, it is pain, but we have the choice to sit with the pain and be miserable, or we move forward. Recently, one of my dearest little sister, cousin sister actually, left her body, which was a shock for the family. I went back to Mauritius, and it was a tragedy.
Sorry for your loss.
No, but it is painful, yes, but at the same time, life goes on, huh? The memory is there. You treasure the memory of the beauty of that. Life goes on. But you don't forget about. So it's the same thing in one life is like that. See, there is a beautiful moment. You have the choice to hold upon this wonderful moment and grow. And the moment you treasure this precious moment in your life, that become a recurrence, in your life, a reminder of the beauty of what you have. And it don't disappear. Even if you get caught in the day-to-day life, even if you feel today, people will come in your life and you will get hurt, because most of the time is like that. You see, the expectation that we hold upon life, that's what hurt us more. Because we have an idea in our mind and we expect that, yes, that idea have to be fulfilled. Of course, everything that had been fulfilled into this world was once an idea, but not every idea get fulfilled. For the idea to get fulfilled, because you see, I know many people who have wonderful ideas. Every second they have new ideas, but nothing happened. We have one Swami also here, he's plenty of ideas, doesn't mean that every of his ideas is wonderful. So you see, people are sitting, especially I have noticed that lazy people have many ideas. They don't, that is not creative ideas. But if you have a creative ideas, the idea is one, but then you get fulfilled. And that is the experience of life itself. You have so many wonderful experience when you look, let's say, look in your past itself. But you have your choice to hold upon the grudges, to hold upon the pain. That's what majority of the world do. When we see the world itself, how people work in their life. They hold on grudges, they hold on the pain, they hold on the misery. And into that, they swim in a daily basis. They can't truly be happy. That's why their happiness is not permanent. But whereas you have the choice also to hold upon wonderful experiences. And every experience, you see, maybe now you say, oh, that experience is bad, but every experience at that moment when you're living it, there is a degree of true joy into that, true happiness into that. So that's what you keep reminding yourself of, your experience which you treasure inside of you.
One of your teachings is that the easiest way to actually transcend things is to actually move through them.
Yes.
And not to sort of, Yeah, because if you go sideways, you don't use this languaging, but what I heard was like, yeah, it comes back with a vengeance. Or maybe that's just my experience. It will keep
Well,
representing itself. Let's just say that. Let's just be more polite about it. It will it'll reappear.
oh, well, look,
Yeah.
I tell you, sorry, a man had a wonderful, have a friend who was looking for a job. And one man decided, okay, I will invest into that man, which is looking for a job. And his friend said, please be careful. He's my dear friend, and I know him. He have not succeeded in anything. So why do you want this man to how say, join your business?
Great referee, by the way.
And he said, well, look, I want him because he have failed in so many ways. They say, are you sure? First, let me tell you his story. In 80s, he started his business. He failed. A few months later, he had to close down. In 85, he started again with his father. Again, he had to close down. He like that 4 times he started his business. He always fail. In many, he went to work somewhere. He failed. So why do you want to invest with that person who have failed so many times? So the man said, well, I want, because he have gone through all the road of failing. He have experienced all the road, but he will not fail anymore. So this is an investment, actually. Yes. You failed, but you should not, take it as a lesson. Because everything that happened in your life, even if you have not succeeded in your life, you have failed, but you should not sit on that. It's an experience. But in that domain, you will not fail again. You have become expert into that.
You've matriculated.
Yes.
There's a wisdom here that I'd love to get between the last 2 questions and their responses, because on one hand, something happens to us, our heart encases, but the opportunity is to move on and move through, right? And the second part is also to like, hey, you've got to move through the experience, but where's the wisdom in terms of knowing, okay, because sometimes I feel like when you start to move through things, sometimes an identity starts to form, or like even healing. Let's just take healing as an example. Sometimes we need to heal, but then also we can form an identity structure around the healing and become locked into, oh, this is something that I've got to heal. And we end up not moving through it because of do you understand the nature of, there's a wisdom that's required here?
You see, the point is that why people always go into, even when we're talking about healing, if you look at the psychological aspect of that, they're not focusing upon the healing to move forward. They're focusing upon the pain that they have gone through.
The wound.
The wound, the pain. They are reliving that pain again and again and again, And yes, they are looking for healing, but the healing will never happen. How can healing happen when you're having a wound and yet you are poking that wound on and on and again and again? Again, you feel the same pain. Again, you will cry the same way. It will never happen. That is where the letting go is important. You hold so tightly upon that experience, but you hold more than the experience, you hold upon the pain. So, and that's what you want to heal, Sometimes you have to let it rest,
That's really interesting. I'm sorry, struggling to ask a question because I'm having a real moment here, recognizing that moving through for me is such an active sort of yang doing experience. And what I've just heard from you is actually moving through is also giving space and resting.
Yes, you become the observer, you see.
Wow.
And this is the point where you relax yourself also. There's no doing. And then you flow through it. Because when you are doing something, then it's implied that I am doing this. And there's a certain energy from yourself that is in action at that moment. But our energy is limited. So that is where you have to let it happen.
Thank you
And
for
then
that.
be relaxed about it at the same time.
Yeah, really appreciate that. You mentioned we have, I don't want to say a tirade of ideas, but we do have a lot of ideas. and and I mean, I wanted to ask you because so much of, I mean, yeah, I guess the question at its heart is around dharma. How do you know which ideas to pursue and which ones not to, and which ones are aligned to your dharma and which ones are just.
You see, the first idea that emerged from the deepness of yourself, through the feeling. It's not just an idea, it's an idea which is combined with the deep feeling and a deep knowing into it. You know about it, but the problem is when you start reflecting upon that again, you already go into the mind. So you have to catch that first idea itself. This is a problem that for people which is thinker, when they go back again to try to figure it out which one, it's already merged with the mind. The
All the
mind is
other
already covered that
rethinking
prime
about the rethinking
ideas
about the
itself. That's it. Then you get confused which one it was. Oh, this one is also nice. Oh, this one is also good. This one is wonderful. But the moment you go into, if you can catch that first intuitive ideas which have appeared, meditate upon that. Hold this strongly. That is the idea that will bring you. That is the idea that will really push you forward. And if you can do that, you will achieve everything. And if you observe everybody who have great ideas, it was always the first intuitive ideas that they have hold, catch it, and then they have not let go of it. And then they have formulated, of course, formulated with the mind, but they have hold strongly upon that prime ideas.
I interviewed a lady named Sonia Choquette on intuition, and she did this really beautiful study with like Fortune 500. She interviewed 100 CEOs on their decision-making process. And what she came to distill and find was 100 out of 100 of them make their decisions based on intuition. And then the next question I thought was hilarious. She goes, how many of you are comfortable telling your 2IC, your second in charge, that you made your decision based on intuition?
They were not.
98 out of 100 of them said, this is pretty much why facts and numbers exist. So I could make my case.
Yeah, but people, you see, they're scared to say it because you will be, has to look, a strange person you are. Because you see, we are in a world that it is constantly running with the mind, like our mind is a machine, which is, and this is a different thing. And those who succeed in life, you will see. But they succeed only when they listen to that intuitive ideas inside of them. And it's not an idea that is easy to listen, but it's an idea that it is meant for you. That what will help you to progress, to move forward, whether it is in a material life, spiritual life, or relationship life. It's always about that feeling.
What I'm hearing is that feeling is the impulse of life, presenting something through your being that is
You
uniquely
see that
available to you.
intuitive ideas, I said it is not just an idea. It's an idea which is combined with the deep feeling and the deep knowing. For example, there's a certain situation that appeared into your life, you have that deep feeling inside of you. It happened on a daily basis, actually. You have the yes, but then next moment you're doing completely opposite to that. And then when the result come, said, I knew it. I should have listened to my feeling. Similar, when I was traveling last week, and there was a beautiful shirt which I found. While buying it, I said, it would be nice if I could buy that also for some of the people. I said, no, they would not wear it. Brushes. Okay, I was wearing my nice shirt with my cousin, and then I was on the phone and they saw me. Oh, you look beautiful. It's so nice. They didn't say that they would have liked, but the way they were saying it's so beautiful. Then I was like, oh my goodness, I should have really listened to my feeling at that.
Listen
I
to
went
it.
to buy, but there were none. It was finished. You see?
The universe, nature, always teaching, always teaching. I have a very deep fascination for, you've used the term a few terms, this deep knowing. Deep knowing. It's my experience is it's deeper than intuition in some ways. There's this you carry something, it feels like in your cellular memory, somewhere in the marrow of your bones. There's just a knowing.
When you have that deep knowing, there's no doubt into it. There's clarity. And you know that it's fine, however it is. It may not be how somebody else will see, but inside of you, you know it is fine.
Hey there, Inspired Souls. Here's someone from our community on the Inspired Circle sharing about her experience on the inside.
Meeting with Gary Zukov was one of the most important moments of my life. There's a couple times where he was just talking us through something and it just hit. And I think it's because we shared the same space with him. Because you watch a lot of people online and it doesn't feel the same as when you're sharing space with somebody. Like that moment, that memory, that one little tick in time. It does feel very different once you have that kind of awakening and remembering. Different people are different stages of their awakening. So when I start talking in a certain way, it sounds kind of nutty. And so I can talk very freely among my circle members and feel that I'm heard and validated and welcomed. Everybody's been so nice and open and non-judgmental. We're all being brought together in some magical way. I just look forward to more connections and what we can do with it. I would say that if you're curious about joining Circle or you feel that there's a calling to a community of like-minded people, that you should click the link down below and join. And it's super easy and super friendly and very affordable. And I would definitely recommend it.
I'm going to demonstrate that I can really meander in our conversations by bringing us back to, we got here because you were in the middle of this meditation experience that your auntie sent you into, by the way. And this is how we ended up down this rabbit hole. Yeah. And I mean, you came out of this meditation at some point, but not.
Yeah, well, I came back out of this meditation 3 days later.
Yeah, what?
It was a very, very, very extremely deep meditation.
Welcome to meditation, by the way.
But that's what I said, you see. I said it, we know how to meditate. Just close your eyes and chant Om or the Gayatri mantra. But that one was completely different. Because when that happened, I entered into a deep samadhi state, which I didn't even know that exists. So I was there sitting. Then later on, my mom and my aunties and everybody was sitting. When I came back, they all were sitting and crying.
Worried for your well-being?
Yes, of course. They didn't know also what was happening. And my auntie later on said, if I knew that would be like this, I would have never told you to sit and meditate. But you see, after hours of not, what they told afterwards, after hours of not responsive to whatever, I mean, they call the doctor, they call the priest, they call everybody, the family, because for them, it's like, you're dead. But there was some breathing happening still. The body was warm. It's just that the light was not on.
What did that experience mean to you at that young age on the other side of it?
For me, it was a reminder of what I am here for. And I always knew that there was something different. My life is different. From whenever I was small, I would look at other kids, their interest, how for them, it was always like, for example, there were always video game, this little, everybody who in the class, they all had. For me, it was never interesting. So I was not. For me, every day when I would go to school, I would pass by the temple, just to look at the Shiva sitting, and that was enough for me. And that was my pull. There was always something different. And I remember when I became vegetarian, I was 11 years old. I said to my mom, "Mom, I can't eat. I never like it." But you see, in a culture, in Mauritius culture, everybody eat, And whenever we would eat, when I was small, my mom would say that I will put it in my mouth. The moment she turned my back, and throw it outside. So she would find everything outside, So it was not something that I like. I will always vomit. And yeah. So at the age of 11, when I told my mom I want to become vegetarian, my mom said to me, "Pack your stuff and go out." I said, "No." I would stop eating eggs. I would stop eating meat, and I would stop tasting fish, all this stuff. And I was really upset. And I was packing my bag. I was about to leave.
There is this rebellious streak in you, by the way.
Yeah, it was a little rebellious, I didn't give them a good, I was always a challenge, which I'm still am, a challenge to the devotees and to everybody. And yeah. So I was about to leave, and my mom said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to a temple." And then she said, "Okay, you don't need to go. I will cook for you outside. I will cook for you separately." So 1 month, she started cooking separately. It was too much for her. The whole family became vegetarian in a good way. So in a way, he cornered them.
The first converts. I love that story. I'm also trying to picture your poor auntie that got you to meditate. Sorry, I couldn't help. I had this flashing image in my mind. She's gotten you to meditate, hopefully to try and bring some more peace into the situation. You've disappeared for 3 days. She's probably had a heart attack.
But you see, for me, the time here was 3 days. But the time I was in the other side, it didn't appear 3 days. It appeared very short.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was not like, "Oh, I'm going for a holiday. I visited," but I did in the physical reality 3 days. I visited so many places.
Other worlds, other dimensions, or just
other worlds and other dimension. I experienced many, meeting other sages and saints, and that was my experience. But it was, for me, it all happened like in a fraction of a second. So when I came back, I was a bit confused because 3 days have passed, But I was in that realm, wherever I was, for me was, very quickly.
And then you're
It was
back.
also like an imagination, But it was not just an imagination because the feeling was there and the knowing was there. Because when I came back, it was a different person. Even the knowledge which was inside, the knowing which was inside was completely different from before.
Because of the experience that you had in this state and the
Because of the
experiential nature of it. Mm.
And it is not an experience which I can't say I was sitting there meditating, because very often it's a question that people ask, "Oh, you're meditating a lot." That's why. No, I was never meditating.
It was your first time.
I was not looking for something, because even last week somebody asked me a question. "Oh, Guruji, but when everything started, you were looking for something." And I was in Bali, and one person asked this question. I said, "No, I was not looking for something. I didn't know that there was something else to look." For me, I always loved God in His totality, and that was it. It was not something that I was looking, I have to achieve something. I didn't know that there was something to achieve. Now we talk about it, but at that time, no, there was nothing to achieve, I knew that my love for Him since small, since I was crawling. My parents would say they will always find me in my puja room, and wherever they will look for me, either I will be in where I grew up in Mauritius, the church is nearby and the temple is next door to each another. That is my place. And it's not that when you go to the church or to the temple that there's a pujaris or a priest sitting there and giving you deep knowledge. No, there were nobody. Just being there was nice. And that's how, for me, was my upbringing.
Subsequently, in meditation, when you return, do you ever venture back into a similar space?
Yes, it happened, but not for so long again. For a few hours, I will just sit.
Is that the space that we go to when we pass away on the other side? Or hard to say?
No, it's a different state.
Right.
Everybody
Right.
is bound by their karma and what you have done here in this world. No? So wherever you are, you will go to that state itself.
It's interesting you mentioned the word karma, because it does make me wonder about, there seems to be your affinity for the temple, the mandir, there just seems to be some grace woven into your path. Touch wood.
Well, everything is grace, Life itself is grace. Because you see, people don't know the importance of life itself. That's why they see life as miserable or something which is punishing. That's why you are here, But actually, no, it is grace itself. Like we believe, after going through 8.4 million species of incarnation, you attain a human body. And that evolution, if you look back, you have gone through so much. You have experienced so much. And that is the beauty of life. You have to treasure that, what you have.
I wanted to ask about that, and I'm very grateful that a perfect little segue has opened up. We do believe in this significant amount of reincarnations to actually be granted the grace of the human life. Yeah.
Mhm.
There are more humans on the planet than there have ever been before. It seems like maybe, I don't know, maybe there's been this many people before.
Do you
But
think in that great source is limited?
I don't know, but I'm looking around, it's like 8.5 billion. It makes me wonder, the engineer in me, the mind still, are we evolving as
How
collectively
many
through
people are there in the world nowadays?
almost 9 billion, I think, or maybe more. I should check.
Lately, somebody said this was 8 billion.
Really? I thought it was
So,
8.5, almost 9. Yeah, it'll be 9 billion in 2037.
so not yet.
Not yet, no, but we're getting there. But
But
what does that mean about the evolution of consciousness and the evolution of the
the
species?
evolution of consciousness, the coming and going, and of course, you see, look, life The whole world is alive. The world is not dead. From the microorganism to the huge creation itself, there is life. It is not dead. We are not like other planets. And this is the beauty of our world, the moment you realize. That's why I said, in deep meditation, you see the beauty, you see the wonder all around you. We are alive. The world is alive. You're talking about, it seems that there's many more souls. No, the souls was always there. In the cosmic, we believe that we ever exist. It is not a single time that we don't exist. We ever exist and we will ever exist. In the Gita, Krishna talk about it also. That you were, you are, and you will always be. It is not a time that you never existed. He said it to Arjun. So we are, what is stay? Can element, the matter, be destroyed? No, it can't be destroyed. You just take a different aspect. So a part of you stay always here. A part of your experiences stay always here as a reminder. That's how you have sometime you go somewhere you have never been, but there's something that captivate you. You can say, yes, you have a déjà vu, but yet there is an element that capture the memory, which is you have left there. Nowadays they use the word Akasha Chronicle or whatever, but it is always, whatever you do, you keep an imprint. A blueprint is left there. And then life bring you to that. Again, maybe in another life, it bring you back to that same state where you come to the point that you need this to move forward. So you come to that energy. And that energy reconnect with you. You have a reminder again. So that's what happened. You are in touch again with a blueprint of life. So we, like I said, we ever exist in the cosmic body of the Lord. That's what we believe. That Tadatmya Vedanta is about that. No, we don't. It's not that we never existed. We always exist in the body of Shri Hari. We are a small spark of Him, and in that infinite, there's countless of souls, countless of experiences. He can come and experience.
It begs the question, what is the overall intention of, we are having our individual experiences and there is a real ode to experience. But what is the intention around this overall experience that is...
The intention about all this is to reconnect again to the universal source. To reconnect again to our true potential of who we are. Do you remember the question when Mahatma Babaji asked me, who are you? He didn't mention about me knowing this physical body, who I am. And in essence, who are you? What is that divine spark inside of you? That's what he was saying. He was referring to that. Not to this gross matter. This gross matter will stay here. It will become back again. Dust back to dust, element back to element. But the essence of divine inside of you, that's what you have to reconnect again.
I also wanted to ask about you coming home one day and finding your mother outside, quite distraught. You thought you'd lost a family member or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. What happened? Can you bring us into your world in terms of this moment in time?
Oh, yeah. So, you know very well how it is in the Indian culture, how when somebody is sitting and crying,
Out the front of the house as well, not inside the house.
Yeah,
Out
not
the, yeah.
inside the house. So she was sitting, we had, before entering, there's first step,
Yeah.
and she was sitting and was crying. And I said, what happened now? Maybe somebody died. This is the first thought, when you see somebody screaming and crying, not screaming, but she was crying. I said, what happened now? I said, your mom already passed away. And who died now? I always tease my mom, I always said, no, not say it. So, I said, maybe your brother have died.
Yeah.
She don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I said, then I said, no, go inside and see what's happening. So I went inside. Just what's happening? Nothing. I could not perceive anything was happening. Everything was not normal. And then I said, she came in and then she showed me. Said, look, because you see, my parents, they believe in God, but they are not strong. I say people were just sitting there. People have an idea, but because I am the guru, but my parents are very religious people, like from the morning till evening, they are always with their mala in their hand, all this, not at all. They're simple people, lovely people, and for them, they believe in God, but my mom always said to me, if you can do something, do it, but don't harass God. He have many things to do.
Meanwhile, you're just loitering at the temple.
But me, I was opposite. I was completely opposite to how they think, When, like I told you, since I was crawling, I was always be in the prayer room, all these things. For them, when I was small, I was always here. Oh, you are not our child, So how can we get a child? We are like demon, but you are like a saint, which is always. So they were always saying, "No, you're not our child." Of course, joking. And yeah, and imagine I didn't give them an easy life, and. Yeah, I remember, one of the experience where, like I said, I didn't give them an easy life, is that I drank petrol even.
What?
They were preparing to go, they were preparing to, we used to have this burner with petrol, burner. So
Kerosene burner, yeah.
Yeah, kerosene there. And the kerosene well was there, so they were preparing to go to one auntie's wedding. And I sat on the table. I drank. They have to again to rush me to the hospital. So you imagine my childhood always harassing them.
The temple and the hospital seem to be having lots of frequent visits.
Yeah. And I even burned a temple when I was small. Once I went to visit, during the one uncle was getting married, so I went with my grandma to invite the neighbors, all this, and then we went to this neighbor to invite. I noticed this little temple, Muruga temple, outside, and they have the lamp, and I was always mesmerized by that. I was just looking outside. She went in, captivate me so much, Lord Kartikeya. And then I memorized the way how to go back there. So I brought incense and camphor, which I stole from my grandma. And then I look how the priests, when they come for Satyanarayana Puja, they will light the camphor with the lamp. But I did the same. It burned my hand, and I threw the camphor on the deity. It landed on the deity, and the clothes of the deity burned. The temple was burned already. I run away. And then they came and complained.
Sorry, I should not be laughing.
And
Sorry.
you know how my mom was really upset, give me a good beating. I'm sure Indian parents how it is.
Oh, they love a good disciplining.
It was not easy. I didn't make their life very easy.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, very, 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 very moving around.
Eventful. So bring me back in. You've come back into the house, and Mum's
Yeah,
super
so yes,
upset.
I came back into the house. My mom was still crying, and there was some on the picture. In that was only in my room, but the picture was allowed, you know. And but for before that, you have to see what happened that night. That night, I went to bed. So every day, for that you have to understand my routine, how it is.
Please.
So I will come back from high school, then I will do my has a study, finish that, then eat, and then I will do my little prayer. So I will have in a cupboard. Inside the cupboard, I will have all the picture of the deity. Like there was Shirdi Sai Baba, one saint, uh, and his picture was there, but I was not allowed to put him outside because my grandma was super strict and said no Muslim because they consider him as a Muslim fakir and said no, he's not allowed. So I had this affinity with him. I had him inside the cupboard, and there was other picture of Satya Sai Baba and other saint, and so that night, every day I would do my prayer by offering a little bit of dry resin, dry grapes, and a little bit of sugar, and light the little lamp, and then do agarbatti, incense. Then I would put everything off, and everything had to be done in quiet. So when my mom was not be there, put bhajan kirtan loud, and but then everything had to be quiet. So we have also in the corner where we had Mahalakshmi, Durga, and Shiva, but all these deity I saved my money and I will buy them. Since small, I was saving all my money and then just to buy this. So I
Wow.
didn't different from other kids who will buy video game, all these things. For me, it was
Yeah.
I will go and buy the deity, buy the picture of the different gods, and yeah. So that when I came in, for me it was just normal look. So every day was like that. I was doing my incense and I would put everything off and I will go to bed.
Yeah.
So that night something happened. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up
Mhm.
with a bright light from inside.
The cupboard.
So from the cupboard. It also was closed, but the light was coming out very bright. I jump out from the bed and in my mind, I was, my goodness, it's finished now. It's burning. I thought that some little, how say,
You're
the
burning down
ancient,
another temple.
yes,
Sorry, I shouldn't. I
time
shouldn't.
and it's burning now. The whole house is burning. More than that, I was thinking of my mom, how angry she will be, and my dad, how angry they will become.
This
So
feeding's going to be a big one. Sorry.
yeah. So that was more than the burning
Yeah.
itself. By that I have to will get from them.
Yeah.
I jumped quickly and opened the door. The moment I opened the door, there was a fresh and very scented smell that came out. And from the picture of Shirdi Baba standing, all around there was like dot of light. And that light was what I saw was coming out. And I look at it, then it just disappeared. Then I went to bed. In the morning, I woke up. I said, oh my goodness, I had a wonderful dream. And I told my mom about the dream also. And it was such a wonderful feeling with it, and it was so nice. Now I'm telling you that I'm still,
Yeah.
I feel at that moment again inside of me,
Mm.
and the coolness, the smell of jasmine, it was incredible. Next morning, still the smell of jasmine was everywhere.
Oh, it's my favorite flower. Stop talking. So good.
It was like I'm telling you, if you ask my auntie, everybody who have experienced that time, the whole courtyard was smelling of jasmine. Then it went everywhere. So I dressed up. I went back to high school the same way. And then when I came back, that's what I saw. My mom was sitting and crying. So I went, what is your problem? And go inside and see. So I went inside and see. On the picture, there were speck of ashes. You know, ash in Hinduism, it's very holy. It's called
Sacred.
vibhuti,
Yeah.
sacred ash. Yeah, and it was covered. Some of the picture was partially covered. No, I think probably it is mold. You know, because Mauritius is very humid.
Yeah.
And my mom said, "Okay, yeah, but what is this?" And I said, "Maybe it's mold. We should remove it." My mom said, "You put it." Hey, how do you put these things? You know. So then we clean everything. My mom and me also we clean everything. My sister came. We were cleaning. It was very strong smell,
Hmm.
and that was a mistake actually,
But why?
because in the next moment, so we clean everything. I went and drink a tea. When I came back from school, I always drink tea, so I went to drink the tea and everything. But we were there talking. And when I went back again to the room, it was full again, completely full this time. You could not even see the picture. I had to rush quickly. I called my mom, and my mom was shouting and screaming. And then my auntie heard her screaming, so she came. So it became
Is it
quiet.
because they're freaked out because they can identify this as being a
It is
miracle?
something
Like,
that they were always scared for me, because like I said, I always give their life hell for and now something else is happening which they don't
they can't
understand.
explain. They
They
can't
can't
explain.
explain. So we keep quiet for 3 days, and this was accumulating and accumulating and accumulating everywhere in the cupboard, in the little tablets there where the deity
Oh,
was,
whoa! So
and
the ash is going everywhere.
yes, everywhere, even from the wall it was coming out, from the ceiling it was coming out. And yeah, in the living room, in my mom's room. So that was the crazy part. Then mm, there was one lady, old lady, neighbor actually. She was not feeling well. So my
Hmm.
mom was talking with her. Said, "Okay, listen, come, I will give you something. Maybe that will help you. So, but please don't tell to anybody." So she called the lady. She came. She was shocked and everything. So my mom gave a little bit of the ash to her, and she drank it, and she was fine. So that after 3 days, when I went to college and I came back, and there was a queue of people outside the house. And again, my mom was sitting and crying. That everybody want to go and see these things, and then, and then my mom called the Catholic priest or the Hindu priest and all these things. Please come and see. Maybe this is not holy, whatever. They came and do the prayer and said, "Okay, don't worry, this will stop soon." You know. And they became very jealous. They said, "Look, we are praying and nothing happened to us. How come these things are not real? All this thing happened." And like that, it's already 32 years still happening the same way.
Oh
So that's what happened. That's why she was sitting and crying.
my goodness! Poor woman. I mean, so this does.
So
Firstly,
then,
wow.
just a reminder. After this, on the fourth day, that is when one of my auntie, on the fourth day to that, because when there were so many people came, then I called another auntie, which was a bit more spiritual than my actual family,
Yeah.
and then she told to meditate. So
This is whoa.
that is when the meditation happened.
So people read Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, right? And they see some of these stories about these Indian sages, and the immediate response for many people when they initially read these certain parables that are in the book is to shut down and for the mind to be like, disbelief, not possible. And it's interesting because the mind discounts what it doesn't believe in, but then it almost, in some ways, is hungry for miracle
Yeah.
because it kind of is
Look,
hungry to want to know
for
more.
example, you see what Paramahamsa Yogananda wrote about the experience of all the great yogis, and that would captivate the mind. There's one deep inside you want to experience that, but
Yeah.
then the doubting Thomas in the mind also say, no, you can't. It's not real. But if you have not experienced that, it is normal to doubt it, Because you see, if you hear the story of the life of saints, for example, take the Maharashtrian saints, Sant Dhyaneshwar, Sant Tukaram Maharaj, and many other great saints, Kabir, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, what they have experienced, they have lived constantly in the presence of God. Who else will understand that if somebody have not lived in the presence of God? Do you think the world will understand that when the world is so busy in a competitive way, then a rat race, everybody is jumping over each another? This is impossible. Firstly, you see, when, for example, the Yogananda's book is alive, and you read the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, the Holy Scriptures, they are alive, they're not like reading a novel which is dead, This is what awake inside of you. Your Atma can reconnect to that. You have that deep feeling, but to put it into practice, that mind have to change. You have to be strong. You have to be courageous. You have to dare to take the challenges. If you don't, then nothing change. You see, that's why then it is easy to credit it as, no, it is not possible. It's easy to say it is not real. That's what majority of the people, if you have not experienced love, how do you know about love? You will discredit it. And you will be jealous about those who have experienced that. Because you see, very often you see people change their life completely. And what happened when your life change? When your life change, firstly, everybody become your enemy. Even your friend, your dear people which is near to you, because your life have transformed in a positive way, they can't take it anymore. They like the old you. And because they like the old you, they don't want you to transform. They don't want you to change. Your change scared them. Your transformation bring fear into them because they are jealous of you, but they can't say they are jealous of you, because they don't have the courage to transform their life. They don't have the courage to take the jump into the unknown, which you have done. And that's what scared majority of the people. They are scared to be themselves. It's easy to make a facade to build a certain reality, but to be yourself, it's a tremendous challenge, And very often people are not ready to take that challenge. It's easy to be in the fantasy. It's easy to be in the illusion. But to be in the reality, it's a big challenge.
The irony of that is one of my life's greatest bothers about life. The fact that being yourself requires such courage is like, but you are yourself. Like,
Yes,
what?
You are yourself.
Is this game of smoke and mirrors?
You are yourself at all time, but you are in the delusion of yourself. You understand the difference?
Can you unpack that further, please?
You see, like, people like the delusion life, which they have created, they have worked for it, they have engaged themselves to it. And from one day to change that to another reality, you can't. Because you see, when you become spiritual, your life have to transform. Changes must happen. Only the courageous one can adventure into spiritual life. Only those who dare to take the challenges, to go for it, they can go. Do you think love is an easy thing? It's a wonderful word, which everybody, I love you, I love you. But love, it's not what you understand about. You have to be very strong to love, to adventure into love. Because love consumes everything that you know about yourself. The same way, spirituality, God consumes everything which you have happily engaging yourself, working, creating an illusion about yourself, And God consumed that, everything. So you have worked very hard. Do you think you will just let go of that? You have worked so hard to build an illusion about who you are. Do you think it's easy to let go of that? It needs the grace of God. It needs the grace of Guru. And that is why, you see, we in the spiritual path, we say, be who you are. But people don't know who they are. Majority of the people don't know.
Inspired soul human being, what are you taking away from today's incredibly rich podcast? I mean, I can't even call this a podcast. What is going on here? Touch wood, such an incredible blessing. If you're obviously enjoying this video, and if you are, please give it a thumbs up and a like, and join in on the conversation below. Let us know in the comments, what are you taking away from this multi-dimensional conversation today? I would love to hear from you. Back to the episode. I'm noticing the languaging you're using there is to change the mind, but not shed the mind, let go of the mind, drop the mind. It seems like the mind is to be applied in a certain way and revered in a certain way, but not overly. It's coming into right relation in some way. Can you describe relation with mind?
Bhagavan Krishna said in the Gita, a controlled mind is your best friend. An uncontrolled mind is your worst enemy. He didn't say to let go of the mind. God have created the mind. You're born with the mind. It is only through the mind that you will come to the point of realization also. But it is not the same mindset. It is only when the mind is transformed and become divine. And this is what I mean, changing of the mind. It's not about letting go of the mind. You can't let go. Everything is done. It is done by the mind. But that mind have to surrender itself. That mind have to be offered at the altar of the divine. And the moment you can offer that mind to the altar of the divine, it gets transformed. Everything that goes on the altar of the divine gets transformed. You take a normal food, offer it to God, and when you take it back, it becomes prasad. Because the gaze of the Lord have fall upon that. No? It is not the same. So the mind itself, when you offer it, please take my mind, transform it. That mind become also divine. It's easy to say, but it's a job to consistency is important. So continuously offering, keep offering. That's why I say to the devotee, offer everything at night when you go to sleep. Close your eyes, say Krishna Arpanamastu. Lord Krishna, I'm offering you everything. Everything comes from you, everything goes back to you. So it's a constant reminder.
Paramahansa Vishwananda Swamiji. Thank you so much for today's incredible podcast and conversation.
Thank you, Amrit.
And honestly, it just feels really silly to thank you for today's conversation, because today's entire conversation is built upon the experience that is your life and the stories and the graciousness and the generosity with which you've lived your life and shared yourself so abundantly. So thank you so much for you. Thank you so much, dear. Really, 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 really appreciate you.
But Amrit, one thing is that, you are so joyful and it's so nice. Keep always smiling and laughing like
that. Touchwood. Well, now that you've said it, I'm going to keep offering that up too. So touchwood, we'll keep reinvigorating it. Yeah. Thank you so much for your blessings. I really, really sincerely appreciate it. Thank you again.
Take care.
I didn't get the chance to ask you. There was another piece that I was going to call you out, was about the Kriya. Because the first time Babaji said you're going to teach Kriya, you were like...
We keep it for the next one.
You were like, nah. I was like, who says not to the Baba? And next time we'll dive into... We'll start with, so who says nut to the Baba? And why? You inspired souls, lumen beings. It is such an honor to be your brother walking this path by your incredible side. You've obviously enjoyed this video all the way through to the end, so do give it a thumbs up and a like. It votes for spiritual content like this online, not just on this channel, but everywhere online. Lets the algorithm know that spirituality matters. So go on, give it a thumbs up and a like. And to all of you that are subscribed to the channel, I just want to take a moment and say, thank you so much for your incredible love and your support. Like I like to say, everything you see around here is a total co-creation. Thanks to your love and support, this is what makes this podcast possible. Thank you so much. To all of you that haven't yet subscribed, please do take a moment. As I'm saying the word subscribe, the button below is lighting up in the colors of the Inspired Evolution. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon, join the community, join the movement spreading love, light, wisdom, and positivity like this around the planet together. Thank you so much in advance for your support. By the way, some of you think you are subscribed but aren't yet subscribed, so please do check. And also, at the time of this recording, 80% of you that are regularly watching this channel aren't yet subscribed. Only 20% of you are. Please do take a moment. Like I said, it helps with everything we're doing. So thank you so much in advance for your support. Also, talking about support, like I said earlier, once a month, guests like Paramahansa Vishwananda are coming into the Inspired Evolution Community Circle to come and grace us with their wisdom, their insights, and you get to ask your questions directly. It's not just a masterclass where they're teaching us. You are asking the deepest questions in your heart directly to these guests. Once a month, they come on. And also once a week, we gather for community sharings, meditations, there's breath work. There's so much stuff going on the inside, and you can join us. Yeah, small contribution to keep the podcast alive and supported and doing its thing as well. So you can check out links to that, inspiredevolution.com/circle. Links to that in the description below. We'd love to welcome you home to the inside, where we take this content and turn it into real, palpable connection. It'd be such a blessing to welcome you on the inside. Talking about inside, to keep your inspired evolution flowing onwards, upwards, and inwards. Episodes on screen right now. One of them is with Yogi Raj, where we went in super deep as well. I mean, take your pick, make your click, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Go on, I'll see you there.